pain. That's it.
Guys, this video is about the internal conversation I have with myself, like in my head, and sometimes I lie about myself. But today I just wanted to share it with you. Hopefully this can help you in different situations or this your thought pattern. I like to sit back and really talk to myself through situations that have happened in the past or has happened currently, or how can I improve this on my own mental journey. Because I realized that a lot of, at least in my personal opinion, life is 10% action and 90% spiritual and mental. Meaning what I mean is that a lot of times life happens to us mentally before it happens to us physically, because you don't really do nothing if you don't mentally feel like you can do it, or you do things because you mentally think you can do it, and I feel like a lot of times we stunt our growth or we miss out on things because mentally we psyched ourselves out of it before it even started. And so this is a way for me to not psych myself out. This is a way for me to not get down on myself or to misconstrue what really happened in a lot of situations, right? Because the stories that I tell myself is what my mind is going to think, right? And so I have to be very careful on how I interpret how things happen to me and what actually happened and where I was when that happened. And I should never over exaggerate the negativity on myself, but I also have to find a thin line where I can be critical of myself without destroying myself.
Once an idea has taken hold in the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate. An idea that is fully formed, fully understood, that sticks.
I owe myself an apology because I don't like the way I see myself in my head. It's almost as if that I really don't like myself when I think about how I see myself in my head. Like automatically I go to when people give me compliments or thank you, compliment me on who I am as a person, or just thanking me on, just accomplishments. I always find myself downplaying it or like dismissing it as not significant, but always playing up other people in my head as way more significant in my own personal life than me in my own life. It's almost like I'm playing background character to my own life, right? Like I'm just a side character to my own personal life. Like it's crazy, right? It's like watching a Batman movie, but it's really about Robin, Sorry, it's like a comic book reference. I'm a little nerd here. But when I think about it, the most important person in my personal life is me. And why downplay so much of my accomplishments or downplay so much of myself? Like for what reason? Like what reason does that serve for me to be so negative or just so dismissive with accomplishments, or just so dismissive with my own emotions and feelings? And I'm so harsh on myself about situations, but for some reason I always find a way to give other people's grace and other people breaks for treating me bad, because I felt like that wasn't them as a person, right? Like that's not them for real, or that's not how they really meant to do it. Sorry, somebody decided to cut grass and I'm outside, so if you can hear it, probably what it is. But I feel like now as I get older, I can't make excuses for other people's behavior, and I can't keep downplaying my accomplishments and downplaying myself, because all I'm really doing is reinforcing the idea that I am not enough, or the idea that I don't deserve this, or the idea that I am worthless or not as significant as I think I am. And I am.
Life has this cyclical nature where it's, what you do on Monday, it's fantastic, but then Tuesday is a bad day. But guess what? There's Wednesday. Yeah. So are we just supposed to live our lives like this the whole time? Versus just staying like this and understanding that it's really just a journey of evolution every day. It's just constant improvement, constant curiosity, constantly getting better. The results don't really matter. It's the figuring out that matters.
One thing I stopped telling myself is that I knew this thing was going to happen. Like, oh, I hate when people tell me that you should have seen this coming. Now, there are different situations where it's an obvious situation where you knew that was going to happen. But even in those cases, I realized that I stunt my growth when I say I shouldn't have seen that coming. Because in order for us to grow sometimes, you gotta go through stuff or make mistakes in life with people and situations in order to reflect, to learn. Right? Because then that would indicate that you could live a perfect life if you've seen it coming. Now, I'm not saying every situation is like that. There are situations that you could have seen it coming a mile away. But I'm talking in times of relationships and things of that nature. I think we underrate that because a lot of times when we start talking to people, we already like that person. So we already inflate the person in our mind. And then when they do negative things to us and things of that nature, and we ultimately break up and they break us mentally and spiritually or whatever, we be like, well, I should have seen that coming. But you're not recognizing what mindset you in at the time, right? I could recognize that a lot of times in a lot of my romantic relationships, it was that I didn't have good boundaries and I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. I was very intelligent. I am very intelligent. But however, due to the fact that I am not confident in every action that I take, or I don't have the best boundaries in every situation, then and also my discernment, and I'm not making excuses for myself, but those three things needed to get better. I needed to improve in those situations. But the only way that happens is going through situations that test those things. And for me to tell myself, well, I shouldn't have seen that coming. Why I didn't see that coming? That eliminates the fact that I don't have anything to work on. Or sometimes it eliminates the fact that I should be better than that, which I should be. But in order for me to get better than that, situations arise for me to improve.